Imagine being dragged before a Roman governor and told, "Worship Caesar and curse Christ or die." That was the test that Pliny the Younger used to separate true Christians from the false. In this video, we'll look at his letter to the emperor and see what it tells us about the cost of following Christ in the early church. Pliny the Younger was governor of a region in the Roman Empire in northern Turkey, the same area where Nicaea would host the First Ecumenical Council 200 years later. He was a prolific writer, and hundreds of his letters have survived to this day. Among them is one letter to the Emperor Trajan, who reigned from the year 98 to 117 AD. At this point, Christianity was still fairly new and not a large movement, but it was growing. Accusations against Christians were reaching Pliny, and since there was no emperor-wide policy, he was unsure of how to deal with them. So he wrote to Trajan for guidance.
I need your advice.
What makes this letter so valuable is it comes very early in church history, written by an unbelieving Roman who persecuted Christians.
I'm not on your team.
So it's not marked by bias in their favor. As to the purpose of his letter, Pliny had doubts about whether he was dealing with Christians rightly.
Just tell me if I'm wrong.
So he wrote to the emperor for guidance. He asked if he should punish people simply for being Christians or only if they were accused of another crime. He also wondered if the same punishment should apply to the young as to the older who seemed more obstinate and set in their ways. Here's how he handled those accused of being Christians. First, he questioned them directly. If they confessed Christ, he asked them again, and a third time under threat of execution.
That's worth your life to you?
If they remained firm, he carried out that sentence. What shocked him was their refusal to bend. He wrote that their obstinacy and their inflexible stubbornness should at any rate be punished. Underlying this is Rome's claim to supreme authority.
I am God.
Anyone who placed another authority above Rome was a threat. Christians, however, acknowledged a higher lord.
Jesus is our only king.
Which gave them the courage to say no to the governor, even at the cost of their lives. Now, under questioning, not everyone held fast. Those who denied being Christians were required to prove it. Pliny describes the test. They invoked the gods in words dictated by me, offered prayer with incense and wine to your image, which I had ordered to be brought for this purpose, together with statues of the gods, and moreover, cursed Christ. This was a blatant loyalty test. Would they worship Rome and curse Christ? Would they still claim Christ even if it meant their death? They were put through this test because Pliny heard that those who are truly Christians cannot do those things.
They won't do it, any of them.
This is what he said. Those who are truly Christians cannot, it is said, be forced to do any of these things. For him, it was a reliable way to separate true believers from the false. Those who denied Christ were acquitted and set free. We have Emperor Trajan's letter back to Pliny as well, and he confirmed that Pliny was handling the situation correctly.
You're doing a good job here.
He told Pliny not to start a manhunt, actively seeking to round up Christians, but he did say that if they were brought before him, they must be punished. The only ones who could be let off were those who, as he put it, denies that he is a Christian and demonstrates this by his action, that is, by worshiping our gods. This letter reminds us that in the early 2nd century, following Christ meant putting your life on the line.
There's a cost to following Jesus.
Christians refused idolatry and held to God's command to worship him alone, even if it meant execution. Rome demanded loyalty above all else, but the true church showed that loyalty to Christ comes first, no matter the cost. If you want to dig deeper into what persecution looks like today and throughout church history, here are two great reads. First is Persecuted, the Global Assault on Christians. This is a hard-hitting survey of Christian persecution around the world today, showing that persecution isn't just a thing of the past, it's still happening now. And then the second book is the new book of Christian martyrs, the heroes of our faith from the 1st to the 21st century. This is an updated version of John Fox's classic, filled with powerful stories of martyrs from the early church to today, told to inspire courage and faithfulness. I've got links to both books in the video description. Thanks so much for watching. If you learned something new, please click like as a way to say thanks. If you want more content like this in your feed, click subscribe directly below me. See you in the next video.